is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
To return some videotapes. 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 Videotapes.
Welcome back to Strange Glow Video on the Active Violence channel. I'm Alec. And that's
I'm Justin.
Yeah.
All
tonight
right.
we've got some movies to talk about, some topics.
Yeah, we've got things and stuff to discuss. So, let's see. What do you want to talk about first?
The least fun shit, like,
Happy Gilmore 2?
yeah.
Okay.
There's actually people out there saying it's, like, good and, like, defending it and shit, and I'm like, wait.
Did we watch the same movie?
Oh, no, man. So,
So
yeah.
Kyle Newacek directed this. You probably know him from This Pod is Important or Workaholics if you're into that type of comedy. And generally, I'm a big fan of his. He had a pretty fucking tough task with this one.
He's done, like...
You froze on me. Hopefully you're there. There you go.
Sorry. The cats are being shenanigans. So, yeah, he directed another Adam Sandler movie, one of, like, the murder mystery one that was on Netflix that I did not watch, surprisingly.
I think I've seen that one, I want to say, and I liked it better than Happy Gilmore 2, which isn't hard.
Yeah, no,
So.
I really didn't even want to watch it. Where do you even begin?
So let's start the premise here. So this movie, apparently they had to do some heavy rewrites to this movie after Carl Weathers died. And so Carl Weathers was supposed to be Happy's like spiritual guide here in this movie, and he was supposed to be talking and seeing to him in the afterlife, and his wife wasn't supposed to die. And if you can't make the movie you don't want to make, then don't fucking make it. They shouldn't have done this. Like, that concept sounds better than this, because they're like, what do we do? Well, we kill off his wife, have him become an alcoholic with 5 children. And it was so fucking weird. Like, his kids, the daughter is his real life daughter, which was fine. She was okay, but all the dudes, all the bro kids that he had didn't need to be there. They really served no purpose. Like, I didn't connect with any of those characters. None of them were funny. They basically felt like the O'Doyle Rules family from fucking Billy Madison, and just I didn't see a need for it. I'm like, okay, I don't get that. There was some good stuff in there. There's a few moments in there, like the first round of golf on the municipal golf course was some of the funnier stuff in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, some of the cameos I liked and stuff, but like also,
I think
I laughed out loud like twice, and I don't even remember what they were. Like, it's not memorable.
It was just a couple of times, but
come here, honey. Come on.
What threw me through the loop is like Happy Gilmore is so absurd, but it felt so authentic in some ways. Like, right, they got the real like sports music on there. Like, it feels like you're watching like an ESPN documentary at times when he's golfing, or like watching a broadcast. So,
well, they got that one guy living in his garage that's like actually a golfer right now that's known for being really weird. So,
yeah,
like, I get that kind of stuff's like, okay, that's cool and all if you're a golf fan, especially. But like,
yeah,
there were just like fuck Rob Schneider. You don't need to put that guy in anything anymore. He has me blocked on Twitter.
yeah, he's a fucking garbage human.
Yeah, and like, it just wasn't memorable. Like, the most interesting part was obviously how they're going to bring back Shooter, And I will say what I did like about his plot is that they beat the shit out of each other, and then they were just kind of like over it, and they were friends. That was the one element of the plot. I was like, okay, at least they're not just making him the villain again. This is different, and I like that he's like encouraging him and like kind of helping him out. Like that kind of
Yes.
worked for me. But that was about one of the only things it did.
I liked that scene in particular, but I hate that they threw him in like in a mental institution, essentially, right?
Well, that made it seem cheesy. It reminded me honestly of the Dumb and Dumber sequel they did, where the guy was there for like 30 years as a joke or whatever.
Yeah, that just didn't land with me at all. And like Shooter McGavin, the one I first saw the trailers, I was like, oh, Shooter McGavin's been playing golf this entire time, so he's like a good golfer still, right? You know, so he got over all that Happy shit, and they
Well,
made it
yeah.
sound like Happy retired from golf and like had to help his family. You know, just like reading the synopsis, and you're like, okay.
They did
But
obviously a little too much of the member berries, but I mean, it was to be expected. Like, I didn't even realize it because I was watching it on my computer, not on a TV or anything, and I was just like, not
well, what's
paying close
even
attention.
worse?
I was hitting that like Netflix 10 seconds ahead button every now and then too. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I can't do this. But like,
The worst fucking part about this movie was the amount of fucking clips from the first Happy Gilmore they shoehorned in there. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? What fucking sequel does that? And at first I was like, if they're making Happy Gilmore 2, why isn't this going into theaters? This is a Netflix thing. I get that Adam Sandler has a production, but you can do a co-release. Look at what Apple TV had done.
no, this did not
Netflix-
deserve to be in theaters. Theatrical space
exactly.
is reserved for movies of quality.
And that's exactly what I felt after I saw this. I was like, that's why it didn't get a theatrical release. Okay, that makes sense now. The weird, like, new modern golf thing felt really cheesy. And the guy's like getting a surgery to like clip their, you know what I mean? Like the whole explanation on it was like way over the top. And then they got a new caddy in there for him and everything else.
Well, here's what I will say. The script and stuff, some of that comedy stuff, like the whole like maxi sports thing, that felt like I was watching a mid 2000s comedy from like Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. Like it reminded me of like Dodgeball and stuff, but like not even as good as that. Like Dodgeball is still
No.
way better than this. And the fact that they brought back Ben Stiller's character was also not good. Like that was a one-off character. We didn't need to see him again. I'm sorry. And I get it. It's a comedy, so you don't take those things too seriously when you're doing a comedy, but they try to do this pretty earnestly. They're like, he's an alcoholic. He needs to pay for his daughter's thing. And I'm like, okay, well, then you can't bring back Ben fucking Stiller for some reason and force him into the plot. Like,
Well,
you
I
can't
think,
do
like-
both all of this shit at once.
They could have brought him back and had an actual cameo of him where he's
Right.
not like this reoccurring character in there. Like what should have happened for a character like that is he probably should have been there to like visit his dead wife's parents that may be in a nursing home or assisted care place at this point in time based on their age. If he said he was what, 58 now, I think is what he said. And I think that's Adam Sandler's real age. Like he made a comment about being that old in the movie.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, you know, then her parents, if they're still around, would be older than that. And that would have been a great time that he goes to see them and like the mother-in-law or the father-in-law are like, hey, like you fucking just quit life because you lost your wife. And then Ben Stiller could have been in there and been like working at that place as an asshole and
I
just
mean-
been the same guy at a nursing home. Okay, whatever. But he didn't need to be the Alcoholics Anonymous guy.
Well, I just think all of it was dumb, but yeah, like the Haley Joel Osment, I didn't mind, like having just a new random
new
kind of
villain?
actor
Yeah.
in there, and he is kind of an asshole and interesting. That was fine, but some of the cameos, like fucking, I didn't even realize that was Eminem because I was paying no attention. You know what I mean? I didn't give a fuck. I was like, ugh, why are they
Yeah,
even
he
doing
plays-
this?
He plays the heckler's son. Like he
Yeah.
could have just been a new heckler. Like it doesn't have to tie back to somebody else.
He doesn't have to be in a fucking costume. Like literally
he
looks
could've
like
just
a
been
Spirit
whoever.
Halloween costume of that guy.
Yeah, and he could have just been a heckler there talking shit on him because obviously that was all televised. Anyone that went to those golf tournaments, like that would have been a whole thing that people were there heckling him, right? That would have been like people coming back to heckle him.
Yeah.
So
Fucking Travis Kelce, Nick Swartzen,
yeah,
John Lovitz, I didn't mind, and Robert Smigel coming back. At least his was very quick. Like you said, that if they had done a Ben Stiller one like that, it would have been more acceptable. Just because it's like I like Robert Smigel, and he doesn't get as much screen time as Ben Stiller ever has. So it's like just cool to see him getting something. But then it's like, but fuck Rob Schneider.
Well, they just shoehorned in a lot of these cameos, and they didn't need to be in there. They didn't like add to the story. They didn't detract. But
Yeah,
it's like if you're going to put a cameo in there and have somebody recognizable, have them be in there. Like, there's plenty of pro golfers that I recognize just because, I like golf. So,
I mean,
but
I don't give a fuck about golf, but I know that
yeah,
I think it's acceptable to put golf cameos in there, especially like the one guy, John Daly, makes the most sense for obvious reasons. We don't even need to discuss that, but having a few other ones in there is fine too, especially, those people are probably fans of Happy Gilmore. So,
well, the fact that they had all these pro golfers in there and there wasn't a single joke about Tiger Woods, like in his alcoholism or his drunk driving shit, I'm like, you guys, you could have fucking ripped Tiger Woods apart. And I get that he was a great golfer back in the day, and he's like,
I don't necessarily they're trying to respect him. I think it's just like hacky to almost do that at this point. It's just been beaten to death. I feel like 20 years ago, Family Guy was making fun of Tiger Woods. That guy's irrelevant at this point. But there was one joke about him just being like one of the greatest golfers since the 90s or whatever. But like,
yeah, I don't know, man. Like it felt like there was a couple of funny moments. Like I said, like when he's out there like hiding who he is on that municipal golf course early on. I mean, partly because who he's with. He's with Margaret Qualley. She's in that golf group.
Yeah, I like her and I like Eric Andre a lot. So it was
Eric Andre.
But still, that scene was not very funny. Like most of the shit they were doing was just cringy and just like,
yes,
this is why comedy is in such a hard place right now. Comedy movies in general. Honestly, The Naked Gun looks like it might actually be funny. The new one, but that's like, other than that, like the last people to do really good comedies that I'm thinking of in the last, even 15 years was like Seth Rogen. And he was still doing the style that like, he was still following a format that, I think Adam Sandler followed too in his movies, where it's like there's a little bit of heart and actual plot that feels like a movie in there. Like that's in most of Adam Sandler's movies, at least the ones that he's heavily involved in the making of and writing and stuff, like all of his movies, like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, and even fucking Little Nicky is a father-son story and shit. Waterboy even has a love story and all that. And it's like, Seth Rogen worked the same way because of Judd Apatow, because movies like that were made in the 80s. So all of these kind of feel like Seth Rogen was the last person attached to those kind of movies that started with like Animal House and Vacation, where there's plot and it's relatable and it's like a comedy that's like about some random shit that you normally don't give a fuck about. I'm not normally ever watch a movie about golfers or some guy going back to school, but it's a comedy, so you're watching it, and it's like we've just been missing comedies for a little while that are kind of like in a certain caliber of like actually really hilarious. And
well, yeah, comedy's in a very difficult spot right now. I mean, that's an entire conversation for itself. I mean, just because even stand-up comedy is drastically different than it was, but studios don't spend money on comedies anymore, even though they're pretty like low budget. They can be very low budget. They can be extremely cheap to produce, but they just don't put them in theaters anymore because they don't want to spend the money on marketing them.
Well, that's the thing too. They do put out a lot more of them on streaming, and I would say even comedy shows now are just far surpassing that shit. Like It's Always Sunny's still going. I mean, I know Curb Your Enthusiasm ended, but like it ended pretty recently. Still hilarious. The Rehearsal for Nathan Fielder, it's a different style of comedy, obviously, but it is one of the funniest things I've ever watched in the last few years. Did you ever watch The Rehearsal season 2?
No, I didn't.
Holy shit, bro. That guy literally learned how to fly an airplane and flies airplanes in that season, like actual jumbo jets and shit too. It's insane. It's like so many weird shit, but you got to watch it. Like that's where comedy's at right now. That's the peak of comedy in like the last 10 years, if you ask me. Like,
and streaming movies are hit or miss, which is so crazy considering like how good streaming series is over like network TV series. when you think about that. Like for some reason, streaming movies is just so difficult to nail right. One that's a comedy that I think deserves some praise was, did you ever see Palm Springs on Hulu?
No.
Let's see who was in that. Andy Samberg is in that, and it's like a time travel movie.
I'm aware of it. I just didn't see it.
And to me, like that one, like had a good balance of being like really funny, and that's from 2020. That was
Dude, I forgot there was a
really,
Borat sequel. That wasn't very
yeah.
good.
No, that was Palm Springs was a funny comedy movie that felt fresh, but also kind of like fit that genre and was very good. Like
Yeah,
that's one I will rewatch because I liked it that much. I've seen it maybe 2 or 3 times.
I've looked up right now top comedies of the 2020s. That comes up, my old ass. Don't Look Up. That was very funny from 2021. It's a satire, so it's a different style of comedy.
Yeah.
Bad Trip from 2021, which is the Eric Andre like Jackass style movie almost.
Okay. Yeah.
We watched that. Saturday Night. Bill and Ted Face the Music was pretty decent, but that's more of a legacy sequel, like, so that's the vibe's different too. Like, not much is even coming up. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're
Yeah,
just
like
not.
mainstream comedies in a very difficult spot, and like I don't know.
The King of Staten Island, that was actually pretty good, but it was
But that had a good fucking story to it
but
and a
that's what I'm
lot of
saying.
plot. Yeah.
So
And this movie just missed that mark there, and I just can't believe they shoehorned in all those old clips. Like they clearly were making this for a generation of people. They're like, "Oh, half the people have seen this movie, half the people haven't." And like if you're gonna watch Happy Gilmore 2, a lot of people are gonna watch the first one to see what it's all about, to see if the second one's even worth their time.
yeah.
You know? So to me, like that's like you didn't need to shoehorn all those in, then you could have cut the running time down a little bit. Like I don't need all those clips added back in. I know the fucking movie front to back. I didn't forget it.
Yeah. Okay, so I can think of even the 2010s, they were still doing pretty solid comedies because, I'm just looking at this. Bridesmaids, Scott Pilgrim, Neighbors. Did you ever watch Neighbors?
Yeah, the first one's good. I didn't really care for the second one.
Second, I mean, it's okay, but it's worth watching like once, and then you're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, for
Easy
sure.
A, Horrible Bosses. See, I liked Horrible Bosses quite a bit. Even the second one I found pretty funny.
Was Extract in the 2010s or is that earlier?
I think that's like 2008 or 9, but that's a
Okay.
decent one as well.
Yeah.
This Is the End. MacGruber.
Yeah, that's good.
That's like 2010. Huh.
Yeah, I rewatched MacGruber a couple of weeks ago somewhere. It was that's pretty funny. It's like not an amazing movie, but I mostly wanted to see Val Kilmer in it.
Right. The style of that
So.
movie is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghostbusters, Dead Don't Die, Tucker and Dale. There was another scary movie. I don't know. Comedies starring Adam Scott. Piranha, Little Evil, Krampus. There's like a whole... That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's in a weird spot, and I think when I say that, it's different than like when like comedians or like certain people would be like, they don't make comedies now. Because it's... I don't mean the way that they would be. They'd be complaining that people are too like woke and stuff, and well, that's not the case. But
Well, that's the thing though, is it's not even like the woke culture, right? Woke culture had really nothing to do with Happy Gilmore 2. Happy Gilmore 2 was just written in a way that just wasn't fucking hilarious. Like it had potential, but I think Adam Sandler co-wrote that with somebody else, and then obviously, like I said, when Carl Weathers passed away, they had to pivot. Well, then put the movie on hold till you get the script right. To me, it felt like they rushed it to get it out, and then they had to rely on too many flashback scenes for everything else. And it was like, we've got an obligation to get this done. Like Huey Halloween that Adam Sandler did on Netflix is like a pretty funny family film.
yeah,
But
people liked that and said it was more like a little bit more of a return to form. But even that, which I wanted to like, I didn't.
Yeah, like to me, I saw that as a family Halloween movie I can watch. Like something that's not scary. It's just kind of silly to throw on. Like I may not pay attention to it the whole time through the next time, but it was decent enough. But that's the problem, is like his writing style and the movies he's done have mostly been broad family audience stuff for Netflix, which I mean sounds great until you realize that like he became Eddie Murphy of the 90s and early 2000s. Like where Eddie Murphy just fucking lost his edge and like was just doing like family fucking shit just to make money and like not to make anything good. And that's what a lot of this shit feels like. It's like, let's do it to make the money, not to make a good fucking movie, which, I mean,
That's the thing.
if
I've
you can
seen
do that,
some people defending it, just saying like, "Oh, well, I don't understand why people hate this. What do they expect from Adam Sandler?" And it's like, dude, Adam Sandler used to make. He's made some of the best comedy films of all time. Like, if you want to go on like a top 50 or top 100 comedies, like I'd probably have 2 or 3 of his movies on there. But
I mean,
these
you
days
think,
it's not so much.
when he started off just being kind of a regular jackass, okay? Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. Then The Wedding Singer. I fucking love The Wedding Singer. That is such a fucking good movie to this day.
Yeah.
50 First Dates is not like a movie I watch all the time, but that's a really funny, like, love comedy, right? You know what I mean? That's like a great, for that genre, a romantic comedy. Like, that's fucking top notch. Wedding Singer, top notch for that romantic comedy. Like, he figured some shit out after he was just known for being kind of a crass idiot.
Yeah.
And then he became this family friendly guy, which, you know, I get it. A lot of comedians change when they have young kids and shit. And you can't be the same forever, but they just get to this point where it's like quantity over quality. You're like, I'd rather see one Netflix movie that's really fucking good. And I think a lot of people would argue that the best Adam Sandler movie, basically since the 90s, was Grandma's Boy. And he just produced that. That was a Happy Madison production. Like,
Well,
that
that's
wasn't
not even
like
an
him.
I wouldn't even call that
You know what I
anything
mean?
resembling.
It seems like something he could have starred in had he wanted
Yoshi.
to. It seemed like something he would have done.
Come on, buddy.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I wasn't that impressed with it. Yeah, there's a few things in there that were kind of funny, yada yada yada. Nothing that stood out to me. Will I watch it again? It's not on the top of my list, you know. Maybe in 5 years I'll be like, "Oh, maybe I'll check that out again." Probably not. I just don't see a need to. It didn't do anything new enough for me to make it worth my while. So,
Yeah, I'm over that for sure. I'm not going to check it
Yeah.
out again. Then there was some small amount of Jason Universe news and shit, which the Sweet Revenge trailer basically, which looks okay. I mean, you know, it's basically a beer commercial, so
Yeah.
we'll see. There was something else. I feel like
San Diego Comic-Con had a ton of announcements. There's a handful of things I thought were really cool. So there was some Batman 89 figures that I saw. And so they had a really cool looking Bob action figure with the speaker, like the boombox. My favorite announcement from San Diego Comic-Con was probably tied between that GameStop exclusive of Danny DeVito's Penguin with a little rubber ducky mobile. That thing looks fucking amazing. That is like the toy that I saw there that I was like, must have. And you got a giant fucking tattoo of that. So I imagine that'll be going into your collection, even though you're mostly 95% retired from toy collecting. But I think that's a must have.
I mean, we'll see. If I come across it in stores, it's more likely. I'm still wondering about what's going to go on with the Ectoglows and if I'll be able to get any of that stuff because I'm not signing up for any of that Hasbro bullshit that they're trying to lure people into.
Yeah, so I pre-ordered the glow-in-the-dark Ecto 1, but if I can't get the Ectoglow figures, I'm going to cancel that because I don't need the fucking Ecto 1 if I don't have the figures. And I wish fucking Hasbro would just be honest. Like, if you're going to make that a con exclusive for that 4-pack, fine. That's all I care about. Just make it, that's fine. It comes in that collector's box because of that. But honestly, Hasbro has way too much fucking packaging. Like, the HasLab stuff's really cool, but the amount of fucking money they wasted on all that and just to store it, and like, I don't give a fuck about any of those boxes. Those are nothing I'm going to fucking display. They just eat up space in my garage. They're fucking problematic for me.
I mean, I don't mind the outer box that just contains them, just so it's an easy way to market them
Oh yeah,
together.
no,
But,
totally,
like,
I get that. But like these layered boxes where there's like 4 boxes because there's a shipper box, then there's a brown cardboard box, and then there's this like high-end box that's made for collecting and displaying. And I'm like, I don't need all that inside. Save me the fucking money on this product. Like, I'd rather save $30 on this product and pay for an extra fucking $40 of cardboard I'm going to wind up throwing away. Like, we flat out fucking destroyed my proton pack box because I didn't fucking need it. Right now, I got the 2 in the box in my garage, and I'm just like, I don't fucking need it. It's just eating space. Like, yeah, there's some cool Easter eggs on it, but goddamn. So, is Ecto Glow going to be just a new release? Because I also have the glow in the dark Stay Puffed and Slimer.
right, and the Glowcopter.
Yeah, and the Glowcopter, right? And so we've got. Did they even have the Glowcopter on display there?
I don't know.
I didn't see any
The
photos
thing
of
is,
that.
it's just like put them on. I don't know, man. Comic-Con exclusive toys, like they're such a weird thing. Like it's cool to release a toy during that time, I guess, but having an exclusive to the con when it's something like this just kind of sucks because we don't get a lot of other Ghostbusters stuff, and this is the only thing I would want, which is ironic, I guess. Just that not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I get your vibes there. Like I said, if it's not easy to get my hands on the Ecto 1 figure or the other figures, like I'm just going to cancel that pre-order because I really have no need for anything if I can't get the figures. So, and I don't even care if they throw it on Hasbro Pulse because on Hasbro Pulse, you don't have to be a premium member. They always put shit up for that first hour or couple hour exclusive window for people to pre-order if they're paying for that premium membership, but whatever. Shipping was $7 for the Ecto 1, so I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be cool to have, but at the same time, you think about the overhead for Hasbro on this, very little. They've already got the molds for the figures, right? They had to remold like the face masks and a few other things, but the packs and the figures they had molds of. The Ecto 1 they had molds of. Slimer and Stay Puft they had molds of. So really, there's one new product coming out, which is the Glowcopter and the accessories that were packed in with the figures. Other than that, this is all pre-existing product. It's just a re-release. Knowing that, like, it should be pretty easy to make this widely available.
Yeah.
And for that 4-pack Ecto Glow Collector box set, like, I haven't seen anyone open that. I guess I should look at a video and see, like, are those all 4 carded individually in there, or how is that packaged? Because I would want them on cards, even though I'll probably open them just because I love glow in the dark shit and I like that on display. So
here's a question: is Hasbro? They charge you when they ship, don't they?
yeah.
So I might be able to pre-order this Ecto 1 then.
They just put a card hold on to see right now, but then they'll have you verify for HasLabs, they'll have you verify your shipping addresses and stuff. But I think if you need to change your address or your payment method, you can do that pretty easy through there. So
yeah, they have the Plasma Series Proton Pack on here for pre-order for $2.99 as well.
Yeah, and like that's really tempting, but at the same time, I'm like,
I don't have one, so it is tempting for me. Like,
yeah, that's a good price point because you've already got the wand. So the nice thing is that's pretty plug and play. So if you want to upgrade some stuff visually, it's pretty easy. The only thing I saw people like complaining about on that is it doesn't come with the brackets to mount to an Alice frame, but I mean, you don't necessarily even need those brackets because I didn't use those brackets when I mounted my Alice frame.
I was about to say, I don't give a shit about that. It's $300, dude.
It's not how it was fucking mounted in the movie, so why am I going to try to mount it the same way there? So
yeah.
But yeah, a couple other cool things I saw, and I forget the toy maker on there, but they had some cool Christmas Vacation figures. So they had a Clark Griswold in the Santa Claus outfit. I think that has some lights that light up on the Christmas string of lights up. Then they had one of him in the moose sweater, or in the sweater with the moose mug. And then the other one was Cousin Eddie with the shitters full robe and piece of conduit or piping for emptying the toilet. So it's like, that's a pretty cool toy line. The crazy thing to me is like someone else is doing like the NECA style classic TMNT movie figures. And you're just like another line of it. Like it seems like who doesn't have the Ninja Turtles toy line license at this point? It seems like everyone does.
I mean, it's not even. I find it so uninteresting that I don't even have anything to contribute to that.
I mean, I love Ninja Turtles. I love that first movie. The second movie's pretty good, and I love some of the cartoon. I loved it as a kid. It's just one of those things that I don't give that much shit about anymore. And I'm just like, man, it would be nice, like, if I got a good price on a set of TMNT movie figures, I could find those for a good deal. Yeah, I might get a set, but I'm just not trying to go down another collecting rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Did you see anything else from Comic-Con that you thought was cool?
Well, I don't know if it's actually Comic-Con or not, but the Silent Night, Deadly Night trailer is out. Teaser.
Okay, I
Did
didn't
you
see
watch
that yet.
No, you
I
need
didn't
to.
see it yet.
It looks great. It's starring Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends as Billy.
Oh shit! Nice.
So it actually looks really good. Surprisingly, I'm like, oh, I'm happy to watch that guy in another movie as a killer. Oh yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They
Okay, yeah, I see that here.
They did like a remake in like 2012, but it was not. It was just called Silent Night, and it was kind of just based on an actual murder that happened instead of the movie. So
it wasn't all in one way or the other.
But
Couldn't
this
decide
one
what I
looks
wanted to
like
do.
it's pretty straightforward. Like it's actually a remake. He's named Billy. It's gonna be pretty gruesome. It's done by the same people who did Terrifier 3, the production company, or at least producer.
Okay.
Cineverse, anyway.
Yeah.
So we have that and Return of the Living Dead 2025 coming out in December.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That looks pretty good.
December is more stacked than October.
Which is crazy, man. Like horror movie does well in the winter, which is interesting because like that's such a depressing time of year for most people. You're like, you suffering from sad? Let's go watch some fucking violence.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Toxic Avenger next month.
Yep.
There's another Conjuring movie out, so I'm going to be trying to cover all like 8 or 9 or however many movies there are. There's like 3 or 4 Conjuring movies already, some Annabelle movies, the Nun movie, the 2 Nun movies.
I've seen some of those. I saw the first Nun movie, but since I don't believe in any fucking ghosts or anything like that, none of those movies fucking scare me. Like if you were like
none of them
super I mean, if you were super religious and you really believed in religion and you're like scared of that shit, there's probably some people that are fucking terrified of that.
I just find them interesting. It's like
I mean, I like watching them just because it's a fucking horror movie.
It's like I watch like Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? I don't believe in fucking ghosts or any of that shit.
Yeah.
So, but the Conjuring movies, some of them are decent. Like particular, the first one has the dude from Office Space in it. You know, Ron Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
I have the first 2, I think, and then I have one of the Annabelle movies that someone sent me. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, no, those are movies I'll definitely watch. They're just like I haven't ran to the theater to see them, but
they
I've
are
seen
about
plenty of them
ghost
at home.
investigators too. So like that's kind of why I want to give them a shot, especially the Annabelle ones, because I haven't seen them because I don't give a fuck about it. Like the idea of a haunted doll doesn't spook me out or anything. But like I'm gonna give them a shot just because I think I might find them interesting, and that way I'll have a full range. I can rank all those movies and shit at the end when the new one comes out. And horror stuff seems to do great. I didn't even review Fantastic Four in a separate video on my channel. This is the only review we're doing for it on this channel just because I know it wouldn't do well.
Yeah.
People come to me for the spooky shit and the VHS tapes.
Is it Togetherness? Is that the new movie coming up Friday?
Together? Yeah.
Together? It is Together. Okay, I couldn't remember the title. If it was Together or Togetherness. But yeah, that's coming out Friday. I'm going to see that Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it comes out, and so does Naked Gun. And obviously I'm choosing the horror movie over Naked Gun. I'm interested in the Naked Gun. It looks pretty funny. I don't know if we'll see it in theaters or not. Maybe. I'll definitely watch it when it comes out on demand at home. But we'll see about theaters. I'm not rushing to do that one.
Yeah. Yeah, next month I'm going to do some Texas Chainsaw videos. I think they're doing some 4K screenings of that
Oh, nice.
for the anniversary and whatnot. 50th anniversary? 51st anniversary? I think last year was the 50th.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I'm going to be doing some, like, because that's another choose your adventure timeline, the Texas Chainsaw movies. It's like fucking Halloween, you know?
Yeah.
And then there was Fantastic Four, which I saw Thursday night.
Nice. I saw this last night. Just didn't get to it earlier. Had my boys over and they were hanging out and asked them if they wanted to see it. I was going to take them, but neither of them were super interested in that. They don't really give a shit about Marvel right now. They're into Star Wars to some degree. So, and even that's more like Lego Star Wars action figures and games, more so than the movies and TV shows, but they'll kind of watch the stuff a little bit. So,
Yeah.
so
I had a decent time with this movie. I mean, my expectations were, okay, they've put a lot of effort into this one. Comparatively, I think it should be pretty solid to what we've been getting. It should be a hint about tonally and stuff, at least, I mean, where things are going to be going. I don't mean with story-wise, because I was expecting it to be pretty standalone other than whatever post-credit scene they were going to do or anything like that. But
yeah.
The title First Steps made a lot more sense when the beginning of the movie is them talking about the pregnancy.
Yeah. I was wondering how they're going to do that. I did find it interesting, because obviously just like Spider-Man, he didn't need the origin story. There's no point in doing another origin story movie. So I did like how they had the little TV show recap just to show those characters like in their exploratory phase and like some little like documentary type stuff.
Now,
Mostly for the Thing, just so you kind of get used to him.
Yeah, but I do have a question. So I'm not, the biggest Fantastic Four fan in the world, but I do recall from the 2005 movie that the origin was that Doctor Doom was also working with them and went into space, and he got fucked up as well. And that was absent from this movie. Like,
yes.
no mention. No, he's not in pictures coming down from space with them or anything. So you're going to give him an entirely different origin, at least from that movie. I don't know if that movie was comic accurate or not. That movie could have been a one-off weird bullshit for all I know. I don't know his origin, but I'm assuming that. Right?
Well.
So that's already got to be potentially a Doctor Doom from another universe or something, maybe? I don't know, dude.
Let me see here what it says. His old college rival. So apparently he at least knew them back in the day. So that goes back onto that. So Victor Von Doom obviously was Mr. Fantastic's college rival here. Nothing super crazy. And then probably adaptations too. And like, did that go more by the Ultimate Marvels? Because we know when they rebooted Ultimate Marvel, which is like what all the modern Sony Spider-Verse stuff has mostly been based on. Obviously, like Venom is based on not coming from Spider-Man. That's how they redid Venom in the Ultimate series. So I don't know.
Let me see here. Okay. In the comic books, this is what Google is telling me. It says AI overview, so let's take that with a grain of salt. But in the comic books, Doctor Doom's origin story involves his birth into a Romani tribe in Latveria, fictional Eastern European country ruled by a cruel baron. After his father fails to save the baron's wife and dies, Victor leaves for the America to study, where he becomes a brilliant, albeit arrogant scientist. An experiment goes awry, scarring his face and leading him to create his iconic armor and embrace the name Doctor Doom. He returns to Latveria, overthrows the Baron, and transforms the nation into a powerful force. But, that's just what that's saying. Like I said, I'm not a fucking expert about all these comics. So.
No.
But that was just something I noticed. I was like, comparatively.
Yeah, no, that's a good shot out there. So,
But the kid thing, I was like, this is fine. I don't care they're putting this in here. It's interesting going forward, just because a kid that's that overpowering is a little ridiculous. You keep introducing these super powerful beings, and then you're just gonna have to occupy them. It's like how you kept Captain Marvel out of the first Avengers Infinity War because it would have ended.
yeah.
You had to, and you had to do, so just stuff like that, like where the character's too OP, like Scarlet Witch, too.
Mm-hmm.
She can fuck anybody up, but you have to do creative things, and you're gonna have to with this kid too.
Well, and this kid, basically tries not to use his superpowers. In the comics, the kid tries not to use his superpowers very often, or like limits it to like once a year. But there's also a storyline, I think it's the Earth X series, where he takes over the mantle of Galactus. So, like, obviously, this was drawn from heavy comic inspiration, probably a multitude of comics. So, which is fine. Marvel tends to do a pretty good job of balancing these things out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to have this kid, and then by the end of the movie, they already jump ahead 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously we get Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom in there, which I'm not sure if there's any accuracy to this, but now that the movie's been out for a weekend, every fucking news article out there is trying to like spoil things or try to tell you the MCU future.
Well, that's the thing.
So
let's talk about the ending of what was it, Thunderbolts, where they see the Fantastic Four ship coming in.
mm-hmm.
We thought that the end of this movie would reveal that somehow.
Yeah.
It did not.
Nope.
So we're still wondering how that's going to happen. It could happen at the very beginning of, Avengers Doomsday. I assume that's probably what it's going to happen near the beginning of that. But we're also that's going to be interesting. I don't know. Like, at this point, like, I'm still invested enough to keep watching at least the movies, the big ones and ones that I care about.
Yeah.
Like, I went and saw this the first day, obviously. It's Fantastic Four. I was like, I'll give it I'm not like, oh my God, that changed my life or anything. This year has been a little underwhelming for films in general, I feel like, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good movie. I liked it. It felt like it fit in the Marvel universe. It kind of gave me some like, okay. It was nice seeing a standalone story, though, where I didn't have to fucking know 8,000 other things going on. Like, where they're really the only superhero team, right? Everyone's looking at them to be Earth's, like, defenders, which works out well. Like, that is totally refreshing because it's low-key stakes, right? And then seeing Galactus done pretty well. I like Galactus as a character in here. I like Silver Surfer, too. A lot of people are wigging out about that. It's like, oh, Silver Surfer's a dude. And I'm like, well, technically, the Silver Surfer and his wife are the Silver Surfers, so Charlotte Ball.
That's a character from the comics. She has more of his origin story in this one, but I don't give a shit, dude. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're allowed to do different things here. Like,
I didn't bump up against that at all, and I found that the Johnny wanting to bang the space chrome woman was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good. What did you think of him as Johnny?
He's good. He's fine.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, I
thought
like
them in general as the Fantastic Four was good, and I appreciated, Reed Richards not being a perfect character either.
Yeah,
he's a genius, but he's flawed.
Yes, he's very much flawed, especially with relationship type stuff.
I really liked him in this grounding role. So,
yeah, because honestly, when I heard it was Pedro Pascal, I'm like,
well, he's one of those guys. It's like he's starting to be in fucking everything, and to the point where you're like, I don't want to get it overdone. I don't want to hate you.
That was my main concern is like, dude, he's in so much. Like, I just want to get to fatigue or like, is he good? But he's really good as Mr. Fantastic.
That's the thing. I don't watch Last of Us. I don't watch even Mandalorian anymore. So like, I don't actually see him in that much stuff. I want to see Eddington that's out right now really bad with him and Joaquin Phoenix, the new Ari Aster film. But, and I liked him in this, so I'll see him in the Marvel stuff, I guess. Yeah. I don't, so far he's not oversaturated. He's not Chris Pratt or anything.
No, and obviously he's got way better acting range than Chris Pratt, so. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the visuals in this movie were good. I thought everything in this universe was neat. I did like it was like the 60s throwback, like retro futurism. I like the look of everything. I thought that was really neat.
I mean, it's fine. I was kind of like, also, but just because I've seen a lot of movies like that. I also feel like when we saw the Doctor Strange movie, I got my fill of this kind of shit. But
Yeah, I guess that's
and Guardians of the Galaxy, like we've seen enough flying cars and weird environments that this didn't even like phase me as like interesting or cool anymore. It's just like I'm used to it, I think. But what was I gonna say? Shit, I don't even know. It was mildly interesting though. Like I had a decent enough time with it. Like I don't know how I'd rank it in the Marvel scale of like. It's more rewatchable than honestly any Thor movie. But like you're not gonna really beat even the like those other Iron Man movies 2 and 3 that people don't like very much. Particularly for me, 3. I think 2 is really great, but I don't know, man. It's just hard to say. Like, I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else, but I didn't have like things I hated about it or anything either. I was just kind of like, all right, not bad. All right, how's it going?
Hey, good evening, handsome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, right now we're just talking Fantastic Four and going through everything there. So, yeah, I mean, I like the movie well enough. I'll watch it again when it hits streaming, and then obviously, probably before Doomsday comes out.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for this, but at the same time, we're going to see. I was very surprised though that, um, you know, at least in Doctor Strange, we saw the Council of Reeds. And I thought for sure they were going to include that as like a post credit scene. I was like, oh, that would make sense to like, kind of have this thing there because how do you get this group of Avengers or, this group of Fantastic Four to the alternate timeline? Because this is Earth 828.
Yeah.
And they've got so much to do to kind of wrap this up. And I'm getting vibes, and I haven't seen anything official, that they're going to kind of wrap all this up completely and just kind of start fresh.
Yeah.
After these movies, because then they can properly introduce the X-Men. But right now, they're going to kind of like give everyone their last two raw from everything we already know for this multiversal stuff.
I think that's why they were doing some wacky shit with this Fantastic Four origin story too, because they can kind of just do whatever they want for the rest of this universe. It's going to get real weird for a minute while we close out after these last few Avengers movies, and I think they're going to do something where like. I think it's going to be a reboot, but it's going to be like a light reboot of the twos to where like you could follow it. Like the movies will connect, but it will be like a very thin line or something, where there's like a universal switch of some shit, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, there's a whole ton of stuff going on there. Like I've heard people saying that Kevin Feige's contract runs out after these next two Avengers movies, which kind of makes sense. Okay, he's been doing this a very long time. Like, you're going to get burnout, right? Maybe he wants to do something else.
Well, you got to consider Kevin Feige's been working on these since at least the X-Men movies before the actual MCU too. Like he was not as high up, but he worked his way up to where he was for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he worked his way in and did a lot. So the fact that he's kind of maybe possibly wrapping this up, and there's some other people in there that we may or may not see again, right? There's things that are interesting because, they're at the end of the movies, they're like, these characters will return, Well, even at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we saw that Star-Lord will return. They didn't say the rest of the Guardians would return.
Yeah, I think
even though they've
them for the most part as like a group.
Even though they've got the new Guardians, but like, are they going to recast that? Like, really, the only reason we even ever had Guardians as a prime story plot was mostly because they didn't have Fantastic Four. And obviously with some of the characters there being related to Thanos, it made sense that they were in there. But to get a whole trilogy was kind of unheard of for such a B squad of characters for as far as mainstream popularity and, just overall.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like Star Wars. And, you get so saturated with stuff. It's like it's good, it gets bad, and then like there's times where like I don't watch anything Marvel for a while, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. But I don't know the last Marvel movie that I rewatched or watched more than once.
Oh, like that came out new. Because I have a lot of
mean,
them on. I have almost the entire Infinity Saga on Blu-ray, and occasionally I just pop one in, like because they're kind of like, it's cheesy to say, but those are like feel-good movies. Like even if the stakes and the drama, you like get invested in it, but like I don't ever feel depressed watching a Marvel movie. Now that being said, I would never intentionally throw on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because I would be depressed. And that's just not the vibe. So I'm never going to probably watch that movie again, like straight up. Like some parts of it were really good, but like it's not happening.
see,
Same with
I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Even the third one, even though it's kind of fucked up with the animal cruelty and shit. Like I've watched that. I think I've seen it 3 times. I saw it in theaters and then I got it at home, and so I've watched it twice since then. And I like that, but yeah, to your point, it's not one you're going to watch a ton. But like Thunderbolts, I'm like, I don't need to see that one again. I don't really care.
I like
Like it was
Thunderbolts
decent enough.
decent. I thought it was.
I'm not saying I'll never watch it again, but it's not something I'm in a rush to go back to. Same thing with like Black Widow. Black Widow probably would have had a lot more clout had they actually released that in a timeline before we knew she was fucking dead. Like releasing that before she like made her exit would have made so much more sense.
Oh, for sure. But like, I
But
don't
yeah,
compare it to that. I think it was way better than Black Widow just because there's a lot more going on for it.
oh yeah,
But
for
like
sure.
Captain America Brave New World, I wanted that to be better than it was. And I thought
Mhm.
Thunderbolts was better than that. And that sucks just because I really like the Captain America story. I like Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
Yeah, exactly. I love the cast in that. Even the cast in that movie is great, but just that the writing was just kind of like, eh. And
Yeah.
it's tough to say that because there's been so many good movies in there, but there's been a lot of average movies in there, right? And then there's been some terrible movies in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the MCU gets a lot of extra credit just for the fact that it's like all interconnected, and that's very difficult to do, but it's also extremely narrow in the way you can do certain storytelling. So, hopefully when they reboot the series, they do something a little more easygoing. Because I am excited to see a whole new cast of X-Men. Not to say that I'm not excited to see everyone get their hoo-ahs and everything, because the fact that they brought in these other characters and actors to kind of finish these stories out makes sense to me. Like I can appreciate all that. Like I get it. It's fun.
Yeah.
But like even Deadpool and Wolverine, I really like the first Deadpool. Deadpool 2 I've seen a few times, but I haven't rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine. It was just like it was good, but I just haven't felt the urgent need to go rewatch it. Now to say before Doomsday comes out, I'll probably go rewatch more Marvel movies, but it's just like this year I was like, okay, we've gotten a couple here. We've gotten 3 now, and
I would say, like, genuinely, I just really rewatched the Infinity Saga over and over. And not even necessarily in order. Sometimes I just jump in random
yeah.
spots. And, like, even, going back and throwing on of Avengers Age of Ultron, you're like, wow, this was like, we thought this was not a great one. And, like, watching it compare that movie to Captain America Brave New World, you're like, holy shit. This has so much going for it. You get sick of one character and you just, all right, we'll move on to another one. Talk to some other people for a minute.
Yeah, and part of me thinks that like post Endgame would have been a clear time to reboot it, but I guess I almost wonder if that was planned or if they decided to continue going once they had a pretty good grasp that they were going to get these other characters and do something that was multiversal, right? Was that something they're like, okay, we can keep going?
Well,
Like, I just
Kang
hope the
threw it
payoff's
off
good for these.
too.
Yeah, and then recently I read an article where they said that, they were shifting before, um, I forget who portrayed Kang, but all his legal issues, which he got acquitted from, which is so fucked up because they're like, oh, by the way, we canceled your character because of your stuff, but it played out differently in court. So
I don't know. Did he get acquitted of it because they found there was I don't know.
It was
I
kind of
don't.
one of those gray area things. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I'd have to reread on it again. But it was one of those things where
Well, the character wasn't
there's,
compelling. Iron Man beat him by himself, so I don't give a fuck about that character. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Iron Man literally was like, "All right, I win," and it's just Paul Rudd. You're like, "All right, cool. This
you mean
guy is our
Ant-Man?
big bad."
Yeah,
What did I say?
Iron Man.
Oh yeah, it's Paul Rudd. Whatever. Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was also in the time where they were trying to do series too. And I'm like, I think the series in the MCU can work, but I don't think everything needs a series. Like She-Hulk was great. Hawkeye was great. Um, so it's just kind of so mixed.
Yeah, they're doing another Spider-Man movie. They're doing obviously those 2 Avengers movies. Yeah, I don't know. I'll always
And
have
then
an
there's
interest in Marvel stuff more than DC. I guess so. I'll go see like Superman. People were like, "Oh," and I was like, "I don't give a fuck." Like I watched that movie and I was like, super fucking mid, super like ugh, like just I don't care.
what'd you like better, Fantastic Four or Superman?
Fantastic Four easily, but
Okay.
also it's not hard because the Fantastic Four is infinitely more interesting than Superman too. I get it, like he has all this power, but he's like a flawed dude, and like this and that. I don't give a fuck though. I don't care about Superman as a character by any standard or metric. The closest I would ever like in context of Justice League, sure, that's mildly interesting. But I did not like that movie. I didn't watch the Snyderverse one or the Snyder cut. I really don't give a fuck about that. Watchmen was better than Justice League. Watchmen is a universe I'm way more interested in than the Justice League and all that DC universe shit. Like the fact that we just like that was borderline a Justice League movie too, because it had 2 members of the Justice League in it, or potentially 3 if you include other people, and 4 and 5, but like nah, I don't give a shit. Superman's a bitch.
Hot take right there for everybody. No,
Consider
I
me
mean,
Lex Luthor.
yeah, I liked Superman. I thought it was fun. It's probably my favorite Superman movie I've ever seen. And I know there's purists out there that'll say they love the old '80s stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, they're all right. They're nothing I like rewatch a ton. They're just like, whatever. I mean, I thought they did good for Superman there. I had fun with that. I did see it twice. I saw it in theaters and then saw it at the drive-in.
I mean,
Fantastic Four I like better, but part of it to me is just the nostalgia for me. Like, I know the characters more because I grew up watching Spider-Man the animated series, and then on Sundays, I also remember always watching the Iron Man series and the Fantastic Four cartoon, right? Those were on back to back. Love those. Like, they weren't as good as Spider-Man at the time, but they're still superheroes and got to see some cool shit on it. So I really like both those series. And so, yeah, when you get these animated series that are doing well and then you see the movies later, you appreciate them a lot more because you've seen like some of these characters and who they are and things. So,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just we've had so many superhero movies. Obviously, we're all a little fatigued with them. And the thing is, like, for a while, up until the MCU, we were getting ones that were like, all right, let's try to ground this in reality a little more. So, like, it took us till Deadpool and Wolverine for fucking Wolverine to have his mask.
yeah.
How many movies did they fucking make with just Hugh fucking Jackman walking around? Like, fuck my ass. Like, I like his portrayal, but goddamn. At least they did that for us. I mean, that movie was not perfect or great. It had fun moments. I mean, I had a fun time in the theater seeing it. But like,
yeah, but have you watched it since you saw it in theaters?
Yeah.
Oh, you did rewatch it?
I saw it
Okay.
on Disney Plus once. I threw it on in the background, and because it was stuff like it's all the cameos and the interesting shit in that movie that keep it interesting enough for me, like Chris Evans and Channing Tatum, fucking Wesley Snipes, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's worth watching again. Just see Blade fucking walking in with, Gambit and all that shit. It's fun enough, anyway.
That's fair.
The overall plot and the villain of that movie and some of that stuff is like weak, and I'm kind of over Ryan Reynolds as a human too, and have been for like a decade. But like, I'll watch him in Deadpool. Like that's it. That's the only thing I'm really gonna give him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an opinion about him. Like, he hasn't done like
I'm just over
Deadpool's
him.
been his
Yeah,
thing for a while. Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. I can understand where you're coming from there.
because Deadpool is just Ryan Reynolds. Like, let's be honest. It's just fucking Van Wilder with a mask.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally his comedy style. So
Yeah. So
just as a superhero, which makes that first one so funny. The second one's the second one's got some moments.
yeah, it's the meta humor makes that stuff really work, and the fact that I like X-Men. I think that's why I like the Deadpool movies a lot, because the X-Men and Spider-Man and Batman are like those are the top three like comic book heroes that I give a fuck about.
Well, and for me, like, I didn't ever know who fucking Deadpool was until Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and he was like a character in there, right? So like, there's tons of Marvel characters that are in Ultimate Alliance, which is a really pretty solid storyline for the first one. The second one is based on the Civil War stuff. It's okay, and then the third one is kind of post MCU with same gameplay style, which I haven't even finished yet because that's a game that I prefer to play with other people, and like I haven't had anyone to like sit down and game through that one with, so it's not been like high on my priority list.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it'll be fun to see some of these X-Men characters back, though. Again.
I think that's what I'm looking forward to, is like this good mix of X-Men characters, and I hope some of the X-Men characters from Deadpool and stuff show up, because they kind of imply that that's almost the same universe in some ways. They don't ever outright admit that, but I don't think they have to either. So yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I think these Avengers movies will be good, right? I think it's hard for them to make Avengers movies and not have them be great, but it's a gamble still at this point, right?
Well, that's the thing. Doing an Avengers movie now, you have to have different leads.
Mm-hmm.
And are they going to change who those leads are based on box office? They're already shooting the first one now, so that's...
I think they're shooting both of them back to back due to everything
Probably.
going on with those. So... yeah, no, there's tons of storylines they've never done anything with. Handsome, like there's so much shit in there that, I mean, you think Moon Knight, and they're like, okay, Moon Knight's going to appear in the Avengers movies. Okay, well, Moon Knight was an interesting series, but the way they ran off with that,
Moon Knight, I would have
knows?
rather just watched a movie, just because I would rather watch 2 hours of Moon Knight rather than like 7 or 8. And She-Hulk, I think, could have been a movie too, to be honest, although I like that series, and I'm glad we get that much She-Hulk, especially because they're probably not going to do a sequel to that. She might... I think they did announce that she's going to be in the next Avengers movie, which is like, again, that's top 5 characters in the current MCU for me, like easily. She-Hulk, Captain America, just because I do like Anthony Mackie, even though that movie kind of sucked. It wasn't his fault, and I still really liked him.
Yeah, and then who was it? What's his name from Game of Thrones? They like showed him as his character. Who the fuck did he cameo as? I can't remember.
And what?
Oh, Black Knight. Kit Harington played the Black Knight. Had a cameo as the Black Knight.
In what movie?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Oh, so Kit Harington in... oh, was that the fucking Eternals that he was in?
Because I didn't watch that.
Yeah, that was a deleted scene, or
I don't think.
a post-credit scene, or one of those teaser scenes.
I think I just avoided that one entirely.
I watched it once just to say I'd seen it, but it sounds like there's some shit in there, Celestials wise, they're going to have to backtrack to. But you know who else they have not shown in the Marvel shit for so long? The Watcher. They had the Watcher going on early on in this stuff, like the Watcher back there intervening or not intervening there, and then like all of a sudden we haven't seen shit from the Watcher. So you're just like,
isn't the Watcher or watching in the What If episodes?
yes.
So didn't they do a 3rd season of that too? And that story was actually supposed to be connected to the MCU. So
yeah.
but then the Watcher was in what series? Or Like an
let's see.
actual watcher. Was it in She-Hulk? I'm having a hard time because it was in a live action thing too recently, wasn't it?
I
Or
wanna
was
say
it
so,
Deadpool
yeah.
and Wolverine? Maybe. Like fuck. I'm trying to think of what the context would be. Where that. I can't remember though.
Yeah. Let's see what it says here. Because who's doing the voice of him? I feel like it's somebody very well known.
Oh, was it fucking? It was Ant-Man, wasn't it? Quantumania.
Oh yeah, maybe so.
I want to say it was. Maybe not.
Yeah, let me see. Interesting.
Voiced by Jeffrey Wright. He's in a episode of Hawkeye. Interesting.
Oh, it was? Okay. Yeah, because Stan Lee had a cameo with the Watchers. Was that in the first Guardians? Yeah, I mean, they've just left all these like crumb trails for movies or series they could do or characters they might do that they haven't necessarily gone back to, which I get. You got tons of movies. You don't have to go back to those, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then like the Midnight Suns, obviously, I think some of those are okay, so that's Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, Johnny Blaze, and Blade, and Morbius. But it looks like there's some different people that kind of roll through this group. Like when you just search for them, there's an image of Doctor Strange, the Wolfman from a couple of the characters from Werewolf by Midnight or whatever that series was called, and then yeah, let's see what it says there. Moon Knight. Okay, yeah. So there's tons of stuff they haven't touched with, and obviously as they expand this, we might see what they do. I don't know. It's so big at this point, like it's almost absurd to a point because in comics it's easy to do shit and do it and retroactive change things, but like for movies and TV series, it's a whole other ballpark to have to go through and do that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say this is my favorite Marvel movie I've seen all year was Fantastic Four. I did like that the best out of everything. Something I can rewatch a lot. Thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's decent enough. We'll see. It'll be worth watching in lead in to these new Avengers movies, perhaps, when you go for rewatches and stuff.
I am curious though to go rewatch the other ones just to kind of see how they hold up now that I've seen this, because I haven't watched those in so long.
I didn't ever see the 2016 one or whatever it was.
I did not, but that has let's see.
I don't give a fuck about that one. I just have zero interest. But the original ones, they're not that bad. They feel closer in tone to the Spider-Man movie, obviously. First one's probably a little bit better, and the portrayal of Galactus in the second one is not great, obviously. But Silver Surfer's pretty good, and I still think the actors did good.
So here's the thing that makes me want to go watch the 2015 version, because I've never seen that either. Like I just looked at it and I was like, this doesn't look all that interesting. I want to say this is based off the Ultimates as well. Miles Teller as Reed Richards, right? And Miles Teller really wasn't on my radar much until Top Gun Maverick. So the fact that he did Top Gun Maverick after this, I was like, okay. But then also Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm as the Human Torch. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I've just heard such bad things about it, and I don't. Michael B. Jordan's cool, but like I don't give a fuck about Miles Teller. Like, yeah, he was fine in that Top Gun movie, and he's done some other really. There's that movie he did, the drum movie that everybody likes, that I see the masturbation jokes about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about that either. Like just not my, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So he's not enough to make me want to watch it by any means.
Well, just those two in there just makes it interesting, and maybe it's like, okay, maybe I'll check it out. But Victor Von Doom in that first Fantastic Four, and I guess even the second one, because didn't he come back in the second one?
Can't remember.
I haven't watched those in so long. Julian McMahon played Victor Von Doom, and I guess he was on the TV show Charmed, and then I know him from Nip Tuck because Liz was rewatching that show recently, so like I saw a ton of that show, just like as she did a rewatch of it, and so it was interesting to see. Makes me want to go back and watch that after seeing him play like this weird fucking like sex addicted plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
And kind of see how he plays Victor Von Doom, a comic book villain. I'm like, all right, this seems like it should be more interesting to watch that performance now, knowing that I've seen him in other things. Sometimes that changes the dynamic of the performance when you've seen him in more shit. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm more. Most of the shit I'm excited about the rest of the year, though, is like all independent stuff or smaller budget stuff. A lot of horror movies. Hoping some of them are good.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to see. Again, I feel like this year has mostly been underwhelming. Last year felt like, holy shit, I've seen some of the best movies ever.
Last year was fucking stellar. Last year we had a lot of good movies. And this year, yeah, it's to your point. Like I go back through and I've been trying to log everything on my Letterboxd again, just so I can keep a better track of it. And so, like, they use a 5-star rating when you rate these movies in there. And
that's what I use on my channel. But I use hearts, not stars.
Yeah, but out of 5. So, like, fuck, one of the highest rated movies I had this year.
For me, it's probably Final Destination Bloodlines as far as movies I've seen. Sinners, if I watched it, could change that. But
I had the Monkey I gave 4.5 stars to. I really liked that. That was fucking good.
The Monkey would probably be up there. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I did see it at stores the other day and debated buying a physical copy, but I picked up Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah, I saw they had. I didn't see 4K, which doesn't matter for that movie. I saw they had DVD set in.
For which movie?
The Monkey. Saw that at Walmart earlier.
I would get that potentially in 4K, but here's the thing about 4K. We've talked about it before. It's all about the transfer. And new movies, it's perfectly acceptable to get a Blu-ray. But I think horror and sci-fi movies, and just like movies that have beautiful cinematography, are the only things I really give a fuck about in 4K. Like they released Ace Ventura in 4K. Like, nah, I don't need to see Einhorn as a man in 4K. I really don't. I just no possible scenario. I could be fine watching on VHS if I'm ever going to watch it again. But horror movies, I generally want to get as much as I can on 4K, especially like a standalone. It's easy to get. Like, I'm not upgrading Friday the 13th to 4K.
Yeah.
I'm probably not updating Halloween. I'm going to get Halloween 3 probably, but I've got the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K Steelbook box set pre-ordered on Amazon, but
yeah, I'm like looking at the movies that I've seen this year, and like there's very few 4 stars. A lot of them are 3 or 3.5. The only thing I've rated 4 stars or better, a lot of those are movies that have been out for forever, right? Something I just rewatched to throw onto my list. Just tracking what I've watched all year long, just so I can look back at the year and kind of remember what I watched. So,
Yeah. I would say number 1 for me is Final Destination Bloodlines. Number 2 is probably 28 years later. Number 3, The Monkey.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm being generous. Yeah, those are the only ones I even really like. Where they're like, oh, I'm stoked about those. And like I said, I didn't even buy The Monkey, so I got Final Destination Bloodlines on Blu-ray, but that's just because they haven't released any of those movies on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather have them all in the same format, and I have them all on Blu-ray. So
Yeah, to your point, that makes sense, especially with 4K players still being very fucking limited. Like,
and
it's a
my
pain in the
4K
ass
player will upscale
Yeah.
pretty decently too, and like I watched the Blu-ray of Final Destination Bloodlines when I got it last Saturday. I got it. Looks
Mhm.
excellent.
Yeah.
So
Well, a lot of that shit, like they're shooting so much content in 6K or 8K, and then they're dumbing it all down for even theatrical releases. So it's like, okay,
yeah.
I get it. Um,
This could be one of those things like 4K. I don't need another format past this. Just stick with 4K.
well, I mean, at some point, you get past the discernible ability for the human to tell the difference.
Which arguably happened at 1080, but like 4K definitely happened. I feel like when you go to 8K, I feel like the only like if you want to do movies in theaters in 8K, maybe sure. But any home screen 8K is unnecessary. I feel like 4K is the top of what you would need on a home screen. Now, if you're talking theatrical, sure, you can go as high as you want. I don't give a shit, especially if the screen gets bigger.
Yeah, I'm good with that theatrically, but at home, I don't think it really. You don't need to go beyond that. And at some point, the higher the resolution, the harder it is to actually blend everything in together.
Yeah.
Especially for something that has a mid-range special effects budget, right? So like not everyone's got that Marvel budget for special effects and can blend everything in like at a next level.
Yeah.
I guess that's one other thing I would throw back onto Fantastic Four is I really liked that Galactus was an actor in a suit and they just basically enhanced his suit a lot. Having a lot of that being practically done in camera really made that much more enjoyable. Now, obviously, everything around him was all just CGI, but
the worst
having that as
CGI
a
in that
front-
movie was the fucking baby. So the baby looked like shit, dude.
the baby looked like early deepfake shit to me, right? Where it's just kind of like not quite there.
It was almost as bad as the baby in Twilight. And if you have not seen Twilight, the baby is supposed to like be rapidly aging, so they don't use a real baby.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it just looks like this wonky, weird CGI shit, and it's from like at this point almost 15 years ago. So imagine.
Yeah, no, I remember because that was the third Twilight that was in.
No, that's the very last one.
Oh, the fourth one.
Yeah. Well,
Because didn't they split?
there's
They split the last one into 2 parts or something.
The fourth book is split into 2 movies. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
she gets pregnant and I think has the kid in the fourth one, and then the fifth one it's you see the rapid aging baby and the weird CGI shit.
Yeah, no, I get you there. Yeah.
And they just something else I feel like was announced, some other physical media release I care about.
It's tough, like with the cost of everything. Like I'm very like oriented. I'm like, okay, like what's worth getting, obviously, but we also know that streaming like is just so fucking unpredictable of like what will be available, when will it be available, what are they going to edit, and what are they going to remove, and yeah, it's.
Well, that's the thing. I've recently realized I need to get a copy of fucking Dumb and Dumber on DVD, specifically the early releases, because it's a different version of the film. Like
That's
they've
fucked
only
up,
been
too.
they have not been releasing the theatrical. They've only released the extended editions, like recently, with a bunch
Oh, they're
a bunch of extra shit that fucks up the movie apparently. And I haven't even gone back because I've remembered it, and you notice it, like, because it seems out of
Uh-huh.
place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't remember that scene. Yeah. Okay. That's a good call because that is
Apparently,
another.
same with Ace Ventura.
Really?
So the dolphin trainer scene,
Uh huh.
iconic, right? That's not in the
Yeah.
theatrical version of the movie. It was not in theaters. There were a bunch of deleted scenes that was added in for the cable and VHS release, and then maybe like the first DVD release, but then they've taken it out and they just released it on 4K. And I was watching a guy review it, and it was like the Ace Ventura controversy. And I was expecting it to be like, oh God, did they just do something to Einhorn? What?
Yeah.
But no, it was them talking about the dolphin trainer scene is not in the 4K release because it's
That's
not in the
fascinating.
theatrical because they did a scan of the theatrical print, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh,
And I'm torn on that stuff because I like seeing that stuff because I remember it, but nowadays it doesn't make nearly as much sense. Before, when you used to have a cable TV edit or alternate takes, like nowadays they just don't fucking do that. They just cut shit. They don't ever try to really add much back in.
well, yeah. It's
And I,
also like that scene in particular, it was on the VHS. It wasn't just
Mhm.
on the tapes. Like that's how we watched the movie growing up, was on VHS mostly. We had a copy, and that was one of the funniest scenes. To train a dolphin, you must get inside the mind. Like we quote that shit all the time when we were kids.
Yeah. Do you know the dolphin? Do you see the dolphin? I get it. Do you stick to him? I get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the other one that comes to mind for me is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like the TV cut for that had some alternate scenes that never made it onto the DVD and like till the last version they released, but no one ever threw those back in there. Like, I don't know why it's so difficult to like make the proper extended version of that movie that just has like 2 extra scenes.
Yeah.
Like they're not drastically different. It doesn't change the tone of the story. It just like frees up them to cut some of the more explicit rants in the movie.
Yeah, Close Encounters comes to mind because there's like 2 or 3 different versions of that movie as well. And like we have a recording on VHS that I've reviewed on this channel. It's like a 20-minute video where I dissect all the commercials as well as the cut of the film because there's stuff that's added into that TV cut of the movie that you could not see in theaters. You couldn't get on home releases for years. You can finally now. But like
Oh,
it's this weird it's like the longest version. It has versions from the extended edition and like the director's cut, but it has both those changes like added into this one version. So
interesting.
pretty sick.
And a lot of time they would try to do that shit for timing stuff too. They'd be like, okay, we need this movie to fit a 2-hour window because it's the ABC movie of the weekend.
And that's what it
And
was.
so
It
they
was
would-
the ABC movie of
Yep.
the week, that tape.
Yep. And so what do they probably need to fill a 3-hour time slot for that movie with that extended version? So they filled some extra time to fit around the commercials, I bet.
Yeah, and it's a 1984 broadcast. Pretty solid.
Yeah. I know that makes sense. I mean, it's just crazy that what's crazy now is like movies are releasing on like a Thursday night and by Friday or Saturday they're having like final FX updates or whatever because they're just updating the server this shit's all stored on. You're like, that's fucking so wild. Like you can see that opening night and it's not going to be the same movie you watched when you buy physical media 6 months or
Yep.
4 months, whatever the turnaround is.
Alien Romulus, they did that with. They've updated the effect on
Yep.
that.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily want to say the deep fake, but that's essentially kind of what it is the overlay there.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's about it. I don't got much else to talk about. Going for an hour and 25, so
yeah, no, we're good. I think I just want to watch some horror movies, man. I'm looking forward to seeing Together this weekend.
yeah, I'm getting ready for spooky season. I'm trying to ease into it, not too much because I don't want to get sick of the season either too early. What I really want to do is gradually get into it, but it's about that time. August, September, October, the next spooky 90 days.
And August is really when I like going into the store and starting to see like the Halloween stuff go up after like school supplies come down.
Yeah,
I
I've
like
already
seeing
seen
that stuff.
Spirit Halloween on State Line is already have their sign up and signs in the window and everything. And
Oh yeah, the one off 135th over by Target.
yep. And then there's, going to be going back to the pumpkin patch this year. Going to be doing some shit.
all the spooky season stuff I'm excited for. But yeah, to your point, like easing into the movies. And last year I watched a ton of horror movies, like almost, I wouldn't say quite one a night, but I was watching several a week. And the crazy thing about that was like some of those were good, some of those were like straight to video stuff, and some of those are fun. But to your point, you don't want to overdo it. And I think last year I watched a lot, and this year I want to watch plenty, but I also want to have a little bit more quality control and making sure I'm watching stuff that really is fucking worth putting on.
Well,
And
see, I
trying to find
always,
some new shit too. I mean, I always try to do like a blend of 50% comfort nostalgia, things I truly love, and like a 50% blend of like new things, maybe things I haven't seen or things I haven't seen very, very many times.
I think that what I'm going to start doing this year is August. I'm gonna start with some movies like Texas Chainsaw because it takes place in August,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still kind of a summery movie.
Yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
not
It's
it's
like,
not it's not like full into Halloween, but during the actually October, I think every year I'm going to start covering one of the Halloween timelines for my YouTube channel,
oh,
and it'll give me an excuse to watch each one. So this year I'll probably do the first timeline. I'll do Halloween 1, Halloween 2, 4, 5, and 6. And then,
yeah.
next year, Halloween 3.
Fucking hands down, man.
But yeah, I like that idea because I could do that
I
in
fucking love
August with
Halloween
Texas
3.
Chainsaw as well because of the different timelines.
Absolutely. But I think we've got a lot to look forward to the second part of this year as we go into August. We're really kind of leaving July, going into the next part of the year, really kind of past that halfway mark, and we're getting to the good stuff.
Yeah, we lost Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan this week. And I wouldn't say
Yeah,
we
fuck Hulk
lost
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, but
You know,
Uh,
as a kid growing up through the 80s, I never fucking got into wrestling. And there's so many people like that love wrestling, like from that age thing. Like I saw some Hulk Hogan. I didn't really give a shit.
I never gave a fuck about wrestling. Like as a kid, I was like, I genuinely didn't understand it because I would look at it and I would think, as like a 5 or 6-year-old, like they look like white trash, or like these do not look like cool people to me. Like their outfits are, let's face it, really gay, and not in a cool way. Like motherfuckers wearing boa around his neck and being MAGA. But anyway, you have they all have bad haircuts. All of them. They're all really ugly. Like I just found different stuff cool. Like I was like, Star Wars is cool. Wrestling is for the kids who are not me or my friends. I don't know, man. It just wasn't the vibe. Like I never understood it throughout my entire life. As a young child, I distinctly remember being like, you have wrestling action figures? What the fuck are you going to do with that? Give me some Ghostbusters or some dinosaurs or some Jedis. I can deal with that, but what the fuck are you doing?
Batman, Star Wars, like whatever.
Yeah.
I never got into that shit, man. Like, and there's people that like lost their minds when they did that Ghostbusters like WWE mashup from Mattel, like at the end of their license. I'm like, just don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Suburban Commando, I kind of like that movie mostly because Christopher Lloyd's in it and the PKE meter's in it, but like that's not a great movie. And then Mr. Nanny was another Hulk Hogan movie that I remember like seeing like as a rental.
I liked Mr. Nanny as a kid, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I didn't know how terrible of an actor he actually was or anything.
Yeah. And so like, but then like knowing everything you know about him now, you're just like, I don't fucking care. Now, Ozzy Osbourne sucked because Ozzy Osbourne was an interesting motherfucker, like very iconic in the music. I'm not going to say like I was a fucking insane, like hardcore fan of his, but I appreciate what he did for music. And there's a decent amount of his music I like. I'm not going to say I celebrate his whole fucking discography because I certainly don't.
There's quite a lot of Ozzy that I genuinely like. Am him as a person. Now, surely he was problematic as well at times in his life, but he was that was when he was young and doing drugs and doing all this crazy shit. Like by the end of his life, he was not a crazy asshole anymore. By the last like 20 or 30 years of his life, he wasn't doing that shit anymore. He wasn't
Yeah.
like he cheated on Sharon insanely. He beat the shit out of her all the time when they were on drugs together and doing coke in the 70s and 80s. But like by, you know, the late 90s and shit, dude was just
By the time they
chill
had
and
Ozfest
positive.
going, by the time they had Ozfest going on, like he pretty much cleaned up his act. And everyone always talks shit because like nostalgia, you know. But I'm like, fucking,
Yeah.
that shit has some effect on your brain.
Yeah, he's
Like, right?
I've been rewatching The Osbournes with Tatum. We've been rewatching that because it's on Tubi
Yeah.
uncut, so you get to hear all the swearing and everything.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's good to know.
No, it's real fun. Like I highly recommend going back and watch it because it's like, oh, this is real good comedy. Because Ozzy's just such a fucking character. He's so goofy and shit.
Yeah.
It's honestly pretty magical. Now, seeing Kelly and Jack, you're like, holy shit, these are spoiled ass rich kids. Like comparison to
yeah.
watching it when I was a kid, I was like 11 or 12, and I was like, oh, I just thought they were cool because they're edgy teenagers, you know. But
Yeah.
now I'm watching, I'm like, god damn, they're sons of bitches.
Yeah, they have everything they could ever want.
They were when they were teenagers. I'm sure they're better people now, you know. They went through their shit. Both of them went through rehab on the show, so as teenagers. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's just some. It's really funny rewatching that show, and yeah, Ozzy. You know, people have been like, he's the inventor of heavy metal. Well, now he's one of them. You know, dude,
Yeah,
didn't
he's
play
a pioneer.
guitar, but
Yeah.
Black Sabbath as a whole, I think you can credit them with that for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, think about how many like rock and roll metal artists like try to sound like Ozzy, right? I mean, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there.
Yeah,
So I get it.
and his '80s career was less, you know, Black Sabbath-y metal, and his solo music was more like, you know, what you'd get from like Alice Cooper, which is cool. So you get some different vibes from him, and then really, I think he did. You know, he's done some collabs. He did he did a song with Was Not Was that you should check out, the new wave band.
Oh, okay.
He just sings on a new wave song and he does it really well. It's like really fucking cool. And then he does like he did a song with Rob Zombie, and it sounds pretty dope just to hear Ozzy singing on like a new metal song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just to see his style.
It sounds really
That's
cool. It's
fair.
kind of like David Bowie's late '90s career that had an industrial aspect to it and new metal-y bits and pieces here, because it's just a sign of the times. Very interesting stuff to me. I don't know.
No,
Just
that's
kind of rambling
fascinating.
at this point, but we'll be back next week, probably talking about Together, as long as I can get around to seeing it. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going Friday if you free up at all. So let me know.
I'll
But
be
yeah,
working,
I think
but
we fucking ran this thing late, kids. So we're gonna jump off of here, and we'll see you back at it next week. Thanks
Good
for
night.
tuning in. Later.